When I had joined, that time has come, I remember, and it was in May of 1971. And so the Sunday feast came, like my first Sunday feast, which was a big deal in ISKCON in those days. And I remember this one devotee, his name was Baladev, and it was the custom of the brahmacharis, everyone really, but especially the brahmacharis, to not only shave your head on Sunday, but what we call back shave. Like you can shave your head, but back shave means if you go in the other direction, then it's very shiny. So we like to do that. Back shave our heads. This was, the feast, an opportunity to preach to people. A really joyous celebration. And Guru Maharaj quotes Vasu Ghosh, the famous of Jadi Gorna Hoita Tabiki Hoita Kemoni Doritam Dehe Radhar Mahima Prema Rasasima Jagata Janatake. His song where he reveals why Mahaprabhu came, the joyous celebration of the glories of Radharani and her Krishna Prem. But in another sloka, I don't know if it's in that song, but another one of his songs, he said, what kind of sadhana is this? Whereby singing and dancing and feasting, that's the path. That is our path. Singing and dancing and feasting. So we heard Srila Prabhupada say this so many times, and I always thought that it originated with him, and perhaps it did, but even Vasu Ghosh in the time of Mahaprabhu, he's also saying how wonderful this process is. So anyway, at that Sunday feast, I remember that devotee Baladev, he was preaching to a guest, and he said, because we hear Brahma, Paramatma, Bhagavan, the Jnani's target is impersonal Brahman, the yogi's target is the Paramatma, the super soul within the heart of every living being, and Andantarastam Paramanu Chayantarastam, in the heart of every atom. And then on that point he said, and the yogis, sometimes we hear they're blazing a fire in the summertime, a circle of fire, and sitting in that as an austerity, like this type of heat. Now, you imagine, when it's hot like this, to blaze a fire circle and then sit in the center and meditate. Or, he said, in the winter, in Badrinath, it becomes ice cold, the water freezing. You have to poke through the ice to get some water to bathe. At that time, they're meditating. So his point was, these yogis, jnanis, they're performing so many austerities on their path. And then he picked up gulab jamun, the sweet ball, and with the sugar juice like dripping down on his wrist, and he said, but the bhakti yogi, he feasts, and he threw the gulab jamun in his mouth, and it went like, and juice was like dripping down his chin, and he was laughing, and I thought, I like it here. I'm staying. I thought, if somebody can say something like that, that's enough for me.